Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a little sit down video answering some questions about homeschooling, why I'm homeschooling, what I'm doing to homeschool, how you can homeschool. So I had quite a few questions after I posted my last vlog and I said I was going to be homeschooling my kids. So this is going to be technically my first year homeschooling, so I'm no expert or anything like that. I'm just going to be kind of answering some questions because a lot of you guys were curious, and I know homeschooling isn't very common. It's often associated with, like, you know, religion and things like that. So I wanted to just kind of give you guys my perspective, and hopefully you guys like this video. If you guys are interested in seeing my answers to the questions you guys had, just go ahead and keep on watching. So the first question that I got a lot even before my vlog was, where do I get the kids stuff that I use to work with them? The worksheets and stuff like that. Before I ordered the preschool curriculum that I've been doing with them all summer, I literally would just either make my own worksheets or I would just go on Pinterest and look up worksheets. So you could look up preschool worksheets, kinder worksheets, whatever level your kids are at. I have bought plenty of workbooks from Amazon, and they're super cheap and they arrive really quickly. So definitely check out Amazon if you want to just kind of get your toes wet and see how it is. So yeah, definitely Amazon. And then now I've kind of graduated into the actual curriculum. So I did purchase all of the curriculum I'm going to show you guys from The Good and the Beautiful. So I did order the preschool workbook. So I only ordered the workbook only, and I didn't order any of the manipulatives that came with it, any of the flashcards, flip books, anything like that. So it's something that I really like about The Good and the Beautiful, that you can purchase things like hard copies, or you can purchase them just online, downloadable, and you can print them out or just use them on your computer, and it's cheaper obviously since they're not sending you something. So for the preschool, I did just order the curriculum book. So here's what the book looks like. On the bottom down here, it tells you what it covers: letters and sounds, vowels, numbers, colors, motor skills, sorting, matching, and rhyming. And what I did is print them out, and then I put them in a folder like this, so it's just easier to keep track of. So I have one for Charlotte, one for Jet. Charlotte is going to be starting technically like her second year of preschool. I didn't really do, honestly, a ton of preschool with her this past year. I mostly focused on Jet, and then Sissy would kind of, we call her Sissy, her name's Charlotte, but she would kind of, you know, trickle her way in sometimes, but I didn't really make her just because I knew I was going to be able to focus this whole next year, because I didn't do the same thing with Jet for when she turned 3. I just would do it periodically, wasn't anything structured, anything like that, until they turned 4. And then now that Jet is finishing up the preschool, I did order the kinder course book. So I didn't just order the course book, since obviously kinder entails like reading and phonics and a lot more stuff. So I did buy the course book along with all of the extras. So everything is kind of labeled level K, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. But if your kids kind of like go through a course and it's like the middle of the year, you can totally buy level 1 and then start them on level 1. So that's how that kind of works. You just go do as you need. So I got the level K for her for the phonics, reading, spelling, literature, grammar, and punctuation, and art appreciation. They came with mini books, and they came with this reader. All of the lessons tell you when to use which one, when to use what, so that is really helpful. And then I don't have the flashcards here with me, but they also came with flashcards. The flashcards that it came with, they're already perforated, so you can tear them out, and they're numbered as well. The cards that come with the level K course book set is from K to 2, so I will keep those for when I have her on level 1 and level 2 for like 1st and 2nd grade kind of thing. So that's what I have for her for that. And then I also purchased the math. It's also cool because on the website they have assessments for you to administer to your kids to see which level is appropriate for them. So I did test, since we started at preschool level, I just started with the K level for the phonics and reading and all that, I already knew. I didn't test her on that. But for the math, I was unsure. So I had her do the level K assessment on the website for math, and she passed that assessment with flying colors. Like, she knew every single one. So I ordered her the level 1. So I guess technically she's starting math level 1 instead of level K. And I must admit, when I started looking through the book and everything, I was like, oh man, this is a little bit advanced for her. But like 75% it's good on her level, and then like 25% of it is a little bit advanced. So I am going to be probably going at a little bit slower of a pace, but I'd rather it be that way as opposed to spend the money on the level K math and then her like fly through it. So but that's what I ended up doing. So we'll see how it goes. And the math comes with a part 1 book. So this is the part 1 book, and then it comes with a part 2 book, and it's right there, but I don't want to grab it. And then it also came with a math activity box. So these are all the manipulatives, the games, the books, anything that you're going to need to administer these lessons in the math part 1 and part 2. So here is like an instruction book for games, and it's just full of stuff. I'm not going to take it all out. So that's what we're going to be starting next week. I literally have 8 lessons of the preschool left to do with Jet. I'll probably be done with it tomorrow or so. She does a good 3 to 4 lessons each sitting, and I just love all of the pictures and illustrations. The Good and the Beautiful is Christian based, but it's non-denominational. It doesn't have necessarily like Bible verses and Proverbs and all these things to look at. It just makes reference to a God periodically, which I'm comfortable with. So yeah, that's what we're doing as of now. So the next question that I had was, do you need schooling? Do you get paid? And no to both of those questions. You do not get paid, and you do not need any sort of degree or anything like that. I do have a bachelor's in elementary education, so I do have a teaching background. Even before I got my degree, I used to work for the public school system. I'm familiar with, you know, testing, with how things are taught, how things are ran in public schools, and that also helped me make the choice of, well, if I can homeschool my kids, if I can figure this out, why not? I also got asked why we decided to homeschool. It started about 2 years ago when Jet was around preschool age, where me and Ramses would talk about it. The more we talked about it, and the more we researched it, and the more we saw the pros and the cons, it just felt right. And there were definitely times where it was like, oh man, it's gonna be more work for us, you know? Depending on how many kids you have, shouldn't take more than a few hours, maybe 2 hours, 3 hours, depending how many subjects you're doing, if you're doing projects or anything like that, as opposed to an 8-hour school day. You know, even Ramses was like, man, but I feel like it's gonna be a lot of work for you, you know, and I go, well, put it this way, regular school takes 8 hours, right, by the time you get there to the time you leave, but you're teaching 30 kids, you know, 25 to 30 kids, and you're quieting them down, you're passing out papers, you're getting from point A to point B, you're taking them to this elective, you're taking them to lunch. Everything takes so much more time because you have so many more children to accommodate. So obviously that's why it takes such a long day. But if you're only teaching a few kids, a couple of kids, it doesn't take 8 hours. And then also, as far as it being a lot of work for me, of course it's gonna be work, but I just put it in the perspective of like, well, I'm planning for 2 kids. I'm lesson planning for 2 kids. If I got a full-time job and I was working, of course I'd be getting paid. I'd be teaching a like classroom again of like 25 to 30 kids, and I'd be needing to plan for 25 to 30 kids and, you know, accommodate a classroom, do everything, you know, for 25 to 30 kids. So that's way harder. If you've never if you don't know a teacher, if you have never been in a classroom where you see how things are done, it's a lot of work. Being a teacher is a lot of work. So to me, I'm like, no. Like I told Ramses, I'm like, no. If anything, we're gonna put them in school, and then I'm gonna have double, triple the work than I would have being here homeschooling them. So yeah, it was definitely one of those things where I'm like, no, you have no idea. It's hard work for both parents to work full time and your kids go to school, but then when they want to have activities or when you want to come home and cook dinner and clean the house, and every family is different. Every family's decisions to do what is right for their families is individual to them, and everyone's situation is hard. Whether you have 1 kid or 5 kids, everybody has their hard. So getting past that was something that really helped me make that decision as well. It allows us to have more freedom as a family, as individuals. I feel like if my kids eventually want to submerge themselves into some sort of activity or hobby, take college classes early, if they want to pursue something, they're going to have more time to do that. We also want to travel, for us to educate them in the world and not just in the classroom. But I just want to kind of give you guys the highlights of the conversations me and my husband had. We are not doing this for any religious reasons either. I know that's a popular reason why people homeschool, but that is not our situation. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of why we decided to homeschool. Oh, grades, tests. So the curriculum that you buy, there's so many curriculums out there. So the ones, I can only speak for the one that I have right now, the only one that I've been using. So each lesson has an assessment, and the assessment will say at the top if your child can complete this, or if you can check all these boxes that they know all these things, you can skip this lesson. So it is also a good assessment for before or for after. So as the teacher, you know if they know this stuff, so you know if they're going to need the lesson, so you don't technically need to pre-assess them. So you do the lesson, and then when you're done with the lesson, go and assess them, and then you can see where they're still falling short, and then you can go back and review those specific areas. So that is what's really nice about these curriculums that I purchased. The math and the course book that has the phonics and all of that have assessments before each lesson. And then it's up to you how you want to record it. You can do it on your computer, you can keep a hard copy. Did you always plan to homeschool? No, I did not always plan to homeschool. Like I said, we did not, me or my husband or pretty much anyone, I don't think I know anyone that was homeschooled really. I didn't even think I was going to be a stay-at-home mom. Like, that's weird for me. I know a lot of women that say, oh, I've always known I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. That wasn't me. That's something that happened after I had kids. You change so much, your perspective on life and just in general, just you just change as a person. So it was just one of those things where it made sense financially. It made sense because then I got pregnant like right away, right after my first baby. So it was kind of like I didn't have a choice there for a while. And number 3, like, we were making a good living just on Ramses working, so it was just easier. We didn't have to pay a babysitter. It's just crazy to think, you know, this is not the norm to be a stay-at-home mom, so I'm very grateful that I can stay home and we can afford to do this, because man, I know it's so much harder. I know so many women that work full-time, their husbands work full-time, they have family that help them with their kids, and they have sports and they have school and they have this, and like, I commend you guys, because man, I know you're exhausted. Like I said earlier, everybody has their own hard and everyone has their own situation. Are you the only teachers? Your husband helped me with teaching? So yes, my husband works full-time, so obviously I'm like the only teacher, but he does his own teaching. He teaches the kids about all kinds of stuff as far as like science and stuff goes, because he has lots of books, and Jet specifically has always been very interested in the human body, so he's taught her a lot of stuff about the skeleton and your muscles and all this stuff. But in a few years, once Ramses is done with his program and his work schedule isn't as hectic, hopefully he is working from home by then, he will be able to help me more with things like geography and science and stuff like that. That is the plan anyways. That's what he says he would want to help us with. So do you have a homeschool budget? I do not have a homeschool budget, but like I said, buying from Amazon or also a Target Dollar Spot, when it's around this time, they have a lot of stuff in there that I've gotten a lot of stuff like $1, $3, and $5 for either the classroom, like classroom stuff, or you know, stuff to teach them. And then also like the dollar store and stuff, they always have stuff there. So it's just kind of like being smart of like shopping, because you can definitely go crazy and buy a lot of stuff and spend a lot of money. So it's just kind of periodically working with what you have, and then also like buying things just little by little. And what is your homeschool approach? To have a type a homeschool teaching type. I know there's like plenty of teaching types, but I haven't really honestly looked into them too deeply. I did know that I wanted to have a space for teaching. I wanted to have a board and stuff like that, just because, like I said, I do have that teaching background, so that's just what I'm used to. And I feel like it's gonna be a lot better just because it gets the kids feeling more of that formal it's time to learn, it's time to do school vibe. So I do notice when we're downstairs a little bit more prone to be like, okay, like, can I play now, or can I watch TV or whatever. So I think this will be really helpful for them and for me to stay a little more focused. So I don't know if this is there's some sort of name for the way that is. I don't know. There's a lot of labels. I don't really like labels, you know, I'm a millennial, so there's that. But yeah, I think that's everything. I think I covered everything. Hopefully you guys got a little bit of a better understanding of why we chose to homeschool. Maybe me and Ramses will do a video together. I don't know if I forgot to touch on certain things or whatever, but if you guys have any other questions, just leave them down below or DM me, and yeah, and I can try to answer them. Or like I said, maybe I can make another video and see if Ramses wants to interject. He like kind of helps me remember certain things because I tend to talk a lot. So yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.